welcome to the Ghost of Tsushima review. I'm Chaos. Before we move it along, let's introduce who we got here. Ace, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
What's up, everybody? I'm no longer going by Ace of all trades for the remaining of the week. I am going by Dave of all trades. So yeah, what's up? Call me Dave. What's up?
I call you Mr. Hollywood. Anyways, let's have our third. I was gonna say guest, but nah. Let's go ahead and introduce Mr. Boss Man, TBH. Go ahead.
From the boss to the guest, let's go. Big downgrade. Let's talk this Ghost of Tsushima, which by the way, just so you state, we're talking about spoilers in this one. So just so you know, if anybody brings up even if it's a slight spoiler, you've been warned.
There you go. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. I mean, I'm pretty sure they should have beat it by now. Yeah, let's get into it. First, we'll talk about the island of Tsushima, the world of it, the graphics, pretty much all that stuff. We'll talk about story last. What do you guys feel about the island, or the whole game of graphically?
It was a hit or a miss. It was either very beautiful or it just looked terrible. It had to have some type of light. If it wasn't if the sunlight was not there, or the moonlight was not there, then the game, in my opinion, did not look its best. And yes,
I'm actually curious though, what part of the island looked terrible to you? Because I disagree with that.
Because there was times in the game where it was very cloudy, very dark. Of course, if you're using your ghost-like abilities, then it changes the weather and it makes it stormy and gloomy. When it looks stormy and gloomy, there are times in the game it just doesn't look the best. It looks like very plain.
What, like dark?
Yeah, it looks like very no, not even dark. It doesn't look as graphically aesthetic. It doesn't stuff doesn't really come out and pop out as usual, like the colors. Like it just looked very bland to me.
I would say that's not a fair.
That makes more sense though.
No, I'd say that's still not a fair argument, because when it rains in real life, it's doomy and gloomy and it doesn't look as good outside too. It's not really a fair argument. It's supposed to look that way.
No, but I'm saying, but okay. So let me explain it a different way. The way
are you saying from a clarity standpoint, it doesn't the textures aren't as clear?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Which I do agree. I do agree.
It's a hit
or
a miss.
So there was too much going on screen with the rain and the wind blowing, so then the game couldn't handle the textures. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and some like I said, I thought it was a hit or a miss, because I think we all were in the game using the camera mode when it looked beautiful and it was like, oh wow, this island looks great. But there were also times where I was just like, it doesn't look that good. It was a hit or a miss for me.
I honestly didn't notice that, but okay, now that you explained it, I understand.
Yeah, I definitely did notice that with my gameplay. That and frame rate drops here and there. Nothing too crazy, but you definitely could tell.
Were you on a regular PS4 or the Pro?
I'm on the regular. I'm not that rich. Relax.
I had the Pro and I still had issues, and I went back and forth from the display mode where the resolution was bumped up, or to performance mode so you can play a little bit more a little bit faster pace, and I still had frame rate drops on both. And I had the
That's
Pro,
crazy.
So
I only had issues when I was because by default it's on the graphics mode. Once I put it on performance mode on my Pro, I had no issues. It stayed at 30 frames the entire time.
Nah, I dropped a lot, especially in battles and indoors, all that. The game was buggy, but it was fun. But we'll go into that later.
Okay. Do you want to add anything to this conversation, TBH?
All I can say is the game was gorgeous. Easily one of the best looking games of the year. I'm curious too, because I've never been to Japan. I'm curious if the island of Tsushima actually looks like that, or did they just ham it up and saturate the colors on everything? Because it's I'm riding through the island. I'm like, yo, is this shit that beautiful? Like, yo, I really gotta go to Japan. That's what I'm curious. Was that for the video game or was that real? Either way, it was really nice to look at, and it's one of the best looking games of the year. And contrary to them, I didn't have no frame rate issues. I didn't notice the graphical issues, I guess, because I was having so much fun with the game. But I have nothing bad to say about visuals.
Yeah, I will say right now, the game's fun. So even when you're noticing these things, it didn't bother me that much. It's there. All right, let's get to the combat, the big meaty part of this review. Pause. The combat. Let's talk about the combat. TBH, you want to go first? Talk about a little bit what you experienced.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, the combat is easily the biggest selling point of this game. I think this game benefits a lot from the fact that it taps into your inner child. It's just cool to run around and be a samurai or a ninja, depending on how you choose to play the game, because you can choose to play either or you could do like both at the same time. The combat's really fun. It's kind of like Batman meets Assassin's Creed-ish. What's the name with like the counter system? The only thing that problem I had with it was the camera when there's multiple enemies. When there's multiple enemies, the camera can spaz all over the place. So like the easiest way to counter that is to get into those standoffs and try to take out like 4 enemies at once and then slash the other 2 up real quick. The skill tree was really big. It had a bunch of cool different abilities. I felt like it focused a little bit too much on being a samurai, especially because the game is called Ghost of Tsushima, so there's more emphasis on ninja. But in terms of the gameplay, there's definitely more emphasis on the samurai, and I get in the story that like he's trying to struggle between the 2 different lifestyles. But like if there is a sequel, I would like to see them spend a little bit more time on the skill tree for the assassins, because it was pretty basic. You can do chain assassins.
I think you didn't understand it enough. You didn't understand the deep theme of it.
I disagree as far as the focus on the samurai and the ghost, because I feel like as far as the skills tree is concerned, there was a lot of things that you can get as far as the ghost too, and you can continue to upgrade it just as well as you can for the stances. Because as far as the samurai goes, you had the stances, and that was really it in the beginning, like kind of counters. But other than that, you were focusing more on the the smoke, the bombs, the swords that you were, or the little knives that you were throwing out. I feel like it was a nice balance of them too, but to each his own.
I feel like a lot of that stuff you couldn't get till later in the game though.
Bruh, if you're playing the game like the way we were playing though, it was kind of easy to get most of that stuff, bro. We were playing all the side missions, and you can upgrade everything forly. The only thing that you couldn't necessarily get like that was the mythic tales, which would go with progression of the story. Everything else though, if you playing around and doing those side missions, you're upgrading pretty much everything. Like I got all my stances and all the additional stuff throughout the game in Act 1 going into almost like the middle of Act 2. I pretty much had everything like that.
Some of my criticism with the stealth also stems from the fact that AI, it's not just the skill tree itself. Like, I'm sorry, like it's just not as good as Assassin's Creed. And some of that had to do with how stupid the AI was. Like a lot of times they wouldn't react to the thing. So a lot of the things it felt like I was doing was useless. A lot of it was just me sticking to the basics, just hiding in the bush and trying to sit and chain assassinate people. But like the gear, like half the time, because the game was so buggy, they wouldn't even react to a lot of the ninja gear for me.
I was gonna say I didn't have that issue with that one, but I understand what you're saying. But Ubisoft's AI.
Yeah, it might have to do more with the bugs. It felt like
there might be bugs for you, because I feel like the gear actually worked the way it was. Like for traveling, like if you go around and you get like 30% more fog when you upgrade your gear, or for instance, if you get the samurai stuff, and then you have a heavier armor on when you're going against and you're doing the standoffs. Like I did see the noticeable difference in that. So
okay, yeah, I will say that I'll put this in the combat did feel satisfying for me, like the even like the finishing moves when you're doing like your special I forgot what that move was, the circle triangle move, when you do that and then you make them get scared and they start running away. Like all that shit, like everything around the combat feels great. I would say what TBH said though, like the camera did have a problem when they surround you. So what I would try to make sure just keep rolling back and keep them in front of me, because otherwise the camera would go everywhere and I wouldn't know where they're gonna be coming from.
Right.
You mentioned it too, the upgrade system. The upgrade system is actually, I was very surprised how the upgrade was in this game. I wasn't expecting it to be this deep, because you got your samurai side of things, you got your stealth upgrades, you also got exploration upgrades, and you also got the mythic quest that we mentioned too, which most of those mythic rewards are for your samurai side of things, if I'm correct, like the combat system.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I agree with TBH when he said like the stealth, I wish it was more, I guess it was important, but it just felt a little bit too basic, at least for me.
I got you. Understandable. I mean, there's there's positive and negatives for the combat. Well, not even really negatives on the combat. I'm gonna be honest with you. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the combat.
Yeah, it's just the camera, to be honest.
Yeah, it was
in the
exactly.
combat.
It was just a camera, but then you get used to it. It's one of those things like the camera's gonna be bad to deal with it. Make sure that you're using the right analog stick to adjust the camera accordingly because it's gonna be on some BS. You're not just going against enemies. You're going against the camera. But overall, the stances were amazing. I think it was really dope in the fact that you could be able to observe leaders to get skill points to upgrade your stances quicker, plus killing the leaders, but then you go through the whole camp like I said before, going through all the side missions and everything. You help get your skill tree up much quicker than what it would typically be if you just went through and rolled through the story. But yeah, the combo moves, and I say those lightly, combo moves when you hold down triangle and then you and then you triple tap and hit triangle 4 times, was just so satisfying. And then the rock paper scissors, this guy, the rock paper scissors combat, where if you see an enemy with a shield, you know immediately what stance to go to, or if you see an enemy with a spear, you know exactly where to go to. If you got a brute, you know what to go to. Like, those stances were dope. And then and it's more satisfying, and then you get the ghost stance.
My bad, that's what I meant. That's the game I couldn't think of. The combat is more Batman meets Neo. There you go. That's what I meant.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay,
yeah, agreed. But like, I like the fact that like when if you learn the game and you know the game, it's pretty straightforward. But if you see like an enemy with a shield, like, all right, cool, I know what stance I need to go for, then I can just hold down my heavy, then hit triangle a few times, and then that gets other people scared and whatnot. Then I can use a mythic ability. Overall, the combat was very fun and satisfying, and I was actually very surprised because I didn't think I was gonna enjoy Ghost of Tsushima's combat like that, seeing it initially.
Yeah, I will say that's one thing that was kind of annoying. I wouldn't really put this as a negative, but I did notice it when I was fighting multiple people. Like, there'd be a shield guy, sword guy, spear guy, and I would try to switch stance, but I would try to do it too quick, so like he'll just jump or something. So I wish like the stance would switch a little bit quicker.
Gotcha.
I don't know if y'all.
I feel you.
Yeah, that's.
No, I get what you're saying. I agree. Make it more fluid.
Yeah, I agree.
If they are gonna throw enemies at us,
it would have been nice to have like a quick switch button.
Yeah.
Instead of having
Ratchet and Clank, how you can bring up the power wheel, or you can just hit a button and he'll just switch the weapon. It would have been nice to do that.
Well, but the thing is though with that, because you can hold down L2 and then you can switch up the stance kind of quickly, and it pauses you it kind of like slows things down for a moment. So it's just kind of you getting used to that. I get what Chaos is saying though. There are times where it would mess up when you're trying to switch it quickly, and then they'll go to the wrong stance, and then you end up getting effed up. But for the most part, there was that quick menu where you hold L2 and then hit the stance that you wanted. So
yeah, I just because when there's 2 enemies attack you, you need to switch quickly in order to get the stun off. You know,
exactly.
If shield or whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I should have said this. Did y'all? I'm guessing TBH definitely did play on normal. What'd you play on this?
I just played on normal, but you know what though?
Okay.
After I finished doing it in 100%, I'm gonna go back and play it at the highest difficulty, because I felt like it was.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, I felt like it was too easy. But the reason why it was too easy is because I was doing the side missions.
I think you might play on hard, because the highest they just added. It's like 2 hits, you die.
I mean, that's fine though. I was using perfect parries and everything, so I would actually want to try it just because I like the game a lot. But you know.
Okay, so that answers my question. All right, so we got through that. Oh, I did not want to miss this. The customization in this game is like really, really good. I love any game that has any type of customization where it has to be the characters, just like armor, the color of the armor. You know, they got that in here and Ghost.
I actually disagree.
What?
Really?
I thought that it gave you a lot of options to customize the way your character looked, but I didn't like about 90% of the outfits.
Right, you tripping.
I caught myself only wearing like 2 by the end of the game. Like, I didn't think most of the outfits were good.
I would say the option they have a lot. I would say they have a lot, but it's hit or miss. I guess for you're saying. Like
Yeah.
mostly miss, I guess. If you only chose two.
Yeah, that's my personal preference. I just
Yeah,
didn't
that's
think
personal.
there is a lot there. I just didn't think it was anything really that great
I
worth
get what you're
wearing.
saying.
Yeah, I got you. But it was so cool.
Because
Go ahead.
there's a lot of I was gonna say there's a lot of headbands and like
Mm-hmm.
they're all just like different colors and stuff. I
It was
would
a blue,
want
a
more
yellow, a
hats.
purple, and it's like,
The
Yeah.
haikus.
That
What were you about
monkey
to say?
hat I got at the end was fire though.
Bro, I seen that. I was watching the stream to look for notes and I was like, damn, I haven't found that one. So yeah.
You get it from doing all the resolves.
Yep.
Oh, I'm never gonna do it though. I hate those things.
Yeah, you get the Wukong helmet.
Yeah, you tripping.
What were you about to say? Ace?
I was gonna say, as far as the customization goes, I mean, well, first of all, big drip, and I like the fact that like you can actually mismatch like the outfit. So like you'll have like maybe like the Ronin like outfit on, but then you'll have if you wanted just like the
mask.
samurai like exactly like the mask on, and then you could put the samurai helmet on, or if you want to try to get the full ability of whatever armor it may be, then you can switch over to like the samurai, then like you can go to Sakai armor, and like there was so many armors in the game that you can really get. It was actually
And there's
fantastic.
a purpose to them because they have like abilities that add on.
Exactly. When you're traveling and want to be able to move, like to clear the war fog, you can wear the traveling gear. Then you get the Ronin gear. If you want to go stealth light, or if you want to be a samurai and call everybody out for the standalones or whatever, the standouts, it's fantastic. So I'm actually very surprised about that also.
All right, it's time to shit on the game a little bit.
All right, let's go.
I guess
I
this
had
has
some
to
more
do-
positives though.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, nobody brought up the load times.
Oh, the load time.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Load times
that's,
were great.
That's a positive and a negative.
Yeah.
It was great that the tips they were like they put on there for you to help you play the game. They were like, oh, we need to nerf it. We need to nerf it a little bit. So yeah, they were like outstanding for this type of game too.
Oh yeah.
Good thing you mentioned that.
Apparently, they had to slow them down because they were so fast because people couldn't read the tip strings.
Oh well, whatever. Get back to the gameplay. Let's get it.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I was wondering why you couldn't kill the deer and get like
that pissed me off.
stuff from it.
That pissed me off.
I read a tip on there that says like Japan looks as these deer as like a I forgot what it said, like mythical type thing. So like it's very frowned upon for you to kill them. And so I was like, oh, that makes sense. So that's why I can't like go and skin them.
True. That's why we were petting foxes all day. But shout out to the shrines, getting them
I
charms.
was gonna say the side missions were really good too.
Oh,
Mainly
great.
the ones where you got to help all your different friends. They're basically like loyalty missions in Mass Effect. I forgot what they were called, the ghost stories, I think, or something like that.
Like Tales, I think so.
The
Like,
Tales, yeah, those are side quests, but they were really good. They reminded me of Mass Effect's loyalty missions. If you help them out, it paid off.
Yeah, they
in the
weren't
long run.
bland at all.
They were great.
Mostly.
Everyone was very unique. Every storyline, it just really kind of put out there how, like, the character development for that particular character. Shout out to Yuna. There, I said it.
That's all I got though.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say shit on the game because we did mention bugs and glitches from like the camera being partially I guess you would put that in that category, being the camera is needs some improvement. But I did run into some bugs and glitches, nothing game breaking, but there was a one time my horse literally just went rogue on me and like was running like in circles and like running around. I thought my controller was off, but no, he was just like acting stupid and I couldn't get off of the horse, but all I had to do was fast travel and then there we go, I fixed it.
I feel you. Animation glitches for me, when I was trying to jump around with Jen. There were times when I would phase through like the cliffs at times, unfortunately. And in combat, for some reason, when I would knock an enemy down, sometimes they would fall through the map. Or what happened when I went to a couple of strongholds is I would hit somebody with a bow and arrow, and then they would continue to jump up in the air, and the animation would just continue. It was the strangest thing, but I feel weird like talking about the bugs and quote unquote crapping on the game because the game was still so good. Like I didn't even care the bugs, how bad the bugs and glitches were in the game because I enjoyed the game so much. But that's really it for me.
Negatives for me. You already said the camera. The parkour wasn't good to me at all. It was suitable. Like it worked when it needed to, but like once again, comparing it to Assassin's Creed, there were literally only specific rocks that you could climb on. That shit was not good. They got to work on.
Nah, bro, come on.
The only reason why I don't like, to me, it doesn't bother me that much. Yeah, like you said, it reminded me of it like really early on Assassin's Creed, but it will show you where you grab it at. Like you'll see like the cliff on it, just not like on bigger rocks, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's very obvious where you could climb. It was very specific marked rocks.
Gotcha.
Compared to like Assassin's Creed, it made me appreciate the parkour because you literally can grab anything. That's why I'm saying it's not as good.
It's more linear. Would you say?
Yeah, it's literally linear. There was literally moments where I was trying to climb to get to another section, and it's like, oh, I gotta run down the street so I can get on the specifically marked rock to climb up instead of just climbing up the damn any part of the rock, if that makes sense.
No,
that's
why
I was like, I don't think
it is linear climbing.
No, it is. It is. I agree with that. That is somewhat of a negative, but listen, if we keep it real, my guy.
It was times where like Gen 2 would like slip off the roof. Like it just seemed like he had butter on his shoes. It was suitable. It was passable, but it was a negative for me. It could be much better.
Gotcha.
And I think they will. I think they will do much better.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like the rest of the stuff is pretty much nipping. We mentioned the stealth being a little bit too basic. For me at least, it just basically stab them in the back. Lure them with something there.
Wind chimes, smoke.
Yeah.
Bow and arrow.
That was pretty much it. Nothing even crazy on the animation side of things. It's just you jump off the roof, stab them. Like TBH said, I wish they would have done more with the ghost side of things. I think Ethos mentioned this on the podcast. I also did wish the ghost, like your dialogue choices and how you played the game affected the way the game treated you, you know, like everyone seems to be, it's how do I put it, it's not a linear game, but it's basically a fixed story, and I thought it was gonna be a bit more dynamic.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're saying like
they did this whole internal struggle between him deciding whether or not he wanted to be a ninja or a ghost. I mean, a ninja or a samurai, and it's like in all honesty, none of it really mattered that much until maybe the last moment, the last decision. Yeah. But for the most part, the story's on the same track basically.
Nah, I got you. Like people can because you saw there were times where people still like, my lord, like they like appreciated you, they loved you, and there were times when they feared you, and you kind of wanted it more. Like where if you go more towards that ghost side, then they're gonna fear you and be scared of you more than they maybe gonna renown you or love you as a samurai. I got you. I mean, the weather, if you guys notice, when you use the ghost abilities more, the weather changed because of you using the ghost abilities. But if you actually had your honor still and your and you used the samurai and like did like the call outs and everything, then you didn't get as much of a stormy game. So I guess they could have alleviated on that a little bit more.
I had a hurricane in my game. I didn't give a fuck. I don't know. I don't feel like we're nitpicking. Like for one of my negatives, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but to go further in depth with the dumb AI, I'm sorry. The AI was so bad in this game. I have to knock a whole point for this game. Like it's bad in the sense that like, when it works, it's fun, but then when it's bad, it's laughably bad. Like you'll literally be right next to them and nobody will see you. And then there'll be times where they see you from a mile away. And for me, it broke immersion. Like you would walk into a camp, you just didn't know what you could. It created inconsistent gameplay.
No, you're right.
I couldn't be confident when I was being stealthy because I don't know what they can see. And then a lot of times too, like it was easy to get away from the enemy. Like once they spotted you, just go run in a tent. You would run into a tent literally right in front of you. And they don't run in tents. They'll just look around. Where'd you go? It's actually worse than Ubisoft's AI. So like I got to knock a whole point. It was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
It's bad and funny, like you were saying. And like the reason why, like you mentioned this on the podcast too, and I agree with it. The inconsistency of the audio. So like you'll be stealth doing the base, and then maybe someone finds out you're there, and then you have to fight them real quick, boom, boom, and then right outside that tent, they don't hear it, and you're just like, what the hell? Like,
yeah, that's
true. How do you not hear that?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they got to start somewhere. Let's be real. I'm gonna say it, and I don't think anybody said this yet. Sucker Punch created a feudal Japan Assassin's Creed that we've been asking Ubisoft to make for the past few years. And if anything, they're gonna make. I hope Sucker Punch has kind of put a light under Ubisoft, because we would love to be able to see an Assassin's Creed like this. I'm gonna just say that. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, the reason I don't give them a pass is because it is Sucker Punch.
Exactly. Yeah,
they made Sly Cooper. They've made open world games before. They made Infamous. They made all the Infamous games.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's like this whole they don't know what they're doing. They can do it. Like, it's just, they missed the ball on that, and that's a place that I think that it's fair to criticize. They can improve on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They definitely have room for improvement. So still a good game though.
We're on the story side of things, and we talked a little bit about the story, what we wanted. But I will say, for the positive on the story, I was actually surprised of how well they did the important parts of the game. Like, there was peak moments that I remember. And to give you an example of, you go in and you're gonna go and try to fight the Kotal Khan again, or go to like the castle or whatever, and you go in and Yuna and her brother's supposed to like leave and set out. She doesn't want to help because she's been planning all this stuff, and the brother ends up going helping you, and then like what happens, the fucking Kotal Khan kills them, and fucking, like, I felt that moment. I was like, damn, bro, like, you could have been gone, you should have left. And
Right.
like,
No, this is
that was like one moment of multiple, like, even like the horse dying.
Oh, that affected me. I'm not even gonna front. I was like, no,
bro, the horse had a bigger moment than Joel. I was like, damn.
It's crazy. I agree.
Yeah, so, hey, it had positive on the story. Like, it did catch me off guard, because I wasn't expecting too much about the game story side of things. I don't know about y'all.
The story was fantastic, bruh. It was. In the side missions, the character development, to actually kind of pay attention what's going on with the internal struggle with Jin, going from his uncle's teachings and the Sakai clan to going over to more of kind of like the Ronin side, Straw Hat Ronin side, the thief sides with Yuna and that ghost abilities and everything, and seeing that struggle, and it was just fantastic overall. I think they did a really good job on that story the entire way. It did bother me that Kotal Khan kept drinking milk, but that, whatever. That was just.
Why did that bother you?
I don't know why. It's just like, yo, milk? Why you like, he was drinking milk?
I didn't know what he was drinking.
No, he was drinking milk in that chalice. Like, he had milk in there the entire time. I was just like,
oh yeah, he's
and the one time he didn't at the beginning, I was like, that set the pacing for me. Like, yo, Kotal Khan is a savage. He threw the thing on and burned dude. I was like, yo, what is going on here? So good story.
I enjoyed the story. I just didn't understand why Uncle kept sucking off the Shogun. Like, if they do a sequel, we need to visualize this Shogun, because I just want to see what's Uncle's obsession with the Shogun, because he was just blowing him the whole game.
Honor, bro.
He said, "Fuck the family." The Shogun says,
It's about honor, bro. When it comes to honor, especially when it comes to the samurai, they take that very seriously, and that's why there was that internal struggle. Because when you go, I think it was once you get the castle back. And when you save your uncle and he sees how Jin was acting, he was like, "No, you're not supposed to do this. This is not how I taught you. This is not our lessons." And honor was very important to him. That's why he was like that for the Shogun, and that's why.
That's the way I think. The problem with his way of thinking, I guess, for me, it was just like, when it comes to war, what is and isn't honorable is all subjective.
Oh yeah, so I know Chaos is gonna lead into it, because he's gonna ask about the decision L2R2. So what?
Oh no, we'll get to that after. But I got one more, I guess, negative on the story side of things, because the acts, there's 3 acts part of the game, and I believe all of them at the end of the act, you gotta go and capture the castle, and before that, you gotta recruit some, 1 or 2 people to help you go through it. And I felt like that was a little bit too repetitive, and I noticed it going out of Act 2, and that's when I noticed that the game was getting a little bit repetitive. There's only 3 acts. The 3rd act, it goes by fast, so it's not like they're they make you do a lot of things to get to it, but it is what it is. I just wanted to mention it.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess we're at the end of the game, right? We talked about the combat, story. So I actually want to know. They did a good job at the end. The ending uh was great. You gave you a choice to what was it, to kill or spare your uncle after
Right.
the fight to the death.
Honor him or dishonor him, pretty much.
Yeah. What first? What y'all think, and then what would y'all choose? Ace, I'll go with you.
All right. So I thought that the ending was fantastic. I think that it was perfect. Well, I won't say it was perfect because I did have one problem. And maybe because I had, like I said, did all the side missions and was like, I was already like, my level was already high, like maxed out in like Act 2, like the end of Act 2 almost. Did you or did you not feel like Kotal Khan's killing was like easy? Because I felt like it was actually like really easy.
Bro, it was really easy. I played on hard.
Like it was,
but I had all my shit. So
yeah, that's
I
also
tossed it
another.
up to that.
Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. I tossed it up to that. But other than that, I mean, I think it was fantastic. I think that, you know, it shows the struggles that Jin was going through. It shows how honorable that that his uncle was. That he was like, look, the Shogun has hired me and told me I gotta let you go. I gotta actually kill you. So I'm gonna take you around. We gonna go stroll through the flowers and everything. Go look at your parents' graves and everything. Honor your father real quick, and then afterwards we gonna get that
Write some
work.
raps real quick. Write a little collab real quick.
Exactly. Go ahead and write down your final thoughts as the Sakai clan, because one of us is dying today. Just what his mindset was. But I thought it was fantastic. And you know what? I think no matter what, from honor and family and everything, I'm family oriented, family all the way. I spared him. I ain't even go front. I spared him.
Oh, so we all spared him.
I killed him.
What?
You didn't kill him.
I'm joking. I didn't kill him. No, but I actually spared him for a different reason. I spared him because I thought it was
did what you did.
Yeah, like to a samurai, death is the most honorable thing. Death in combat. So I wasn't gonna kill him. I was gonna disrespect him. That's why I left him.
Oh, see, I didn't do that. I spared him because that was my uncle. That's my family. You don't kill your family. Like that's the only thing.
I actually love this. We gotta, because I spared him because the whole game it's telling you choose your own way and like not to follow, like, you know, basically Jin's not following the traditions because he's being told to. So if I killed him, I was gonna be in that trap of like, hey man, it's honor, you know, or whatever. I didn't kill him because I'm gonna do my own way. Like fuck you.
So y'all did it as a sign of disrespect. I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah,
I thought it was because it was family. I didn't want to. I was like, look, they're already.
I also didn't want to kill him too. But...
Yeah, okay. So here's the thing: how they portraying him too. They were like already portraying him as a monster. If I would have killed him, honor, all that, whatever, the people would have thought that I was a monster. So I said, you know what? I don't want to be a monster. I don't want to kill my own family. I'll leave with no honor. And then as long as my uncle is alive and well, so be it. They'll hunt me. I'll murk them, whatever. But I ain't gonna murk my family. And I walked away.
True. That's pretty much it I gotta talk about. I don't know if you guys got anything else to say.
If there is a sequel, which it feels like the ending was sequel bait, I hope there's more options for how you can actually control the narrative. Because like I chose to end the game as a ninja and I spared Uncle, and it would be cool for like part 2 if we go to the mainland Japan and it's like I start my own ninja clan and I got beef with the Shogun and I'm at war with Uncle and shit like that. Or if you chose the samurai side, you're cleaning up the rest of the invaders. Like I just want to see more choice, I guess.
Ooh, I really doubt it. But like how the Mass Effect games did it, you know, when you boot up the game, say, oh, do you want to import
Ooh, that would be
your
cool.
last game? That would be really cool, but I really doubt it because they would need their own like account to do that,
right?
Or some shit.
No, that would be cool though. That's a good idea.
Yeah, choices though. More
yeah.
choices. I want.
Yeah, I think you know what, surprisingly for ending remarks for me, I'm not even gonna lie. I thought I was truly surprised about this game. I did not think that I was going to enjoy the game the way I ended up enjoying it, and I was actually really shocked because when Ghost of Tsushima first got shown, I was like, okay, cool, feudal Japan, cool, whatever, so be it. I wasn't really super hyped for it. But the more I played the game, the more I enjoyed it. I was like, wow. And I actually got really addicted to the game, where I was waking up in the morning to do side missions after I would go work out and make sure I was good. Like, I would go and play it because the game was addicting. The side missions really had me just trying to be super OP, and I'm glad I played it, and I was very satisfied for the game.
Very good. So you guys want to start doing the averages?
Yeah.
We average out the review score.
Yeah.
Sure, you can go first, Ace.
Well, as far as the game is concerned and my enjoyment and everything, I didn't really have any negatives. There are a couple of glitches here and there. I'm gonna give this game a 9. That's how I felt, a 9.
Okay, what about you, Chaos?
The combat is the best thing out of the whole game. The stealth, I wish they had a little bit more. Story did its job. There's bugs and glitches. There's a few problems here and there, so I gotta knock it down. So I'm gonna go with an 8. I think that's fair. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and just throw out there, and I'm gonna give it an 8 too, just because. Honestly, ignore the fact that I even brought up the stealth could be better, or that like I fell through the map a couple times.
Oh my god.
The AI was so bad, I would knock it down to an 8 just because of that.
Yeah, and it's a little too easy.
if the AI wasn't so bad, it would be a 9 for me, but it is. But that being said, I still enjoyed the game. Oh, I didn't even mention the camera. Yeah, and the camera. It would be a 9. But the story was really good though, and the base gameplay was still fun. So I still recommend it. So that's 25. Let's see, divided by 3. So the final score is at 8.3, the official GI score.
8.3. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty damn fair. I would recommend anybody to pick this up. Play for it has a fun factor.
Get ready, because you're gonna spend hours upon hours trying to get Big Drip out there and try to do all the side missions. I'm just gonna tell you that. That'd be crazy if you go through this whole game and do not do the side missions. That would be crazy to me.
All right. Let's wrap this up. H, you got anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
Nope. Actually, I do. If you guys want to continue to support the Gaming Illuminati as a whole, why not check out our Patreon? That is patreon.com/GI updates. We have a whole bunch of awesome tiers. We can be part of movies, videos. You can be part of discussions. Join our community Discord, where it's always lit, literally. And if you guys want to check out our merch, we have some merch right now. You know, get your tank tops, your baseball tees, your t-shirts right now, your crew neck tees, and the GI versus everybody. So go ahead and support, and just thank you guys so much for coming through for another video.
Designedbyhumans.com. Search Gaming Illuminati. That's where you get the merch.
We're out.
Peace.